That's how they got them in discipline. That's how they did it. See? So this is a power. So we're exercising a power. But like any power, it can be abused. So our group has to have the knowledge of what power is righteous, what power is not. And we can't get carried away or drunk with our own power, because we create just a different kind of problem. All the things I'm trying to do are all in history. For example, we can term limit just the people in our party. Guess what? Abraham Lincoln, he didn't run for Congress the next time because the Whig Party had a rotation rule. It wasn't a law in Illinois. It was a party rule. Party rules are powerful. So tactically, we start to exercise discipline who? On us first, our Rotary clubs, our own organ. We start to learn how to exercise discipline. Learn the maturity of discipline. Start to impose it on those who fight against our goals, but yet take the advantages of our trade name, whether it's Republican, Democrat, or whatever, and we don't allow them to work against us. So that's how you do it. So platform is important, but right now it's meaningless. It'll always be important, but as a strategy, it's nothing. It's just part of what we're trying. Remember, we're trying to fix the forms. The platform is what you do once you fix it. There you go. That answer the question?
No.
Okay, try again.
Let me try again. You got the party running in the right direction, we got the right kind of platform. The problem is the guy that wins typically has a lot of money. And he doesn't, so he can go out there and appeal to the primary voters and win their support and continue to ignore the party and the platform.
Not if we write a rule that says you can. We can also control the money. Called finance reform, campaign finance reform, but only applies to Republicans. That's how much power there are in the rules. We can say, okay, each candidate will have to give 10% of their spending in primary to the general election fund. Well, that's a good idea. Think about that one. So we've got 5 guys in the primary. They're all going to have to take 10% of what they spend, put it in the general. That's the first thing I'd do. Did you catch that? We can do that in a party rule. Then, let's say the guy is constantly working against us because he's got a lot of money. We just censure him and he's not allowed to run in the primary.
That's the next time. And he does get one turn in the session.
Well, yeah, in other words, you can't say you're guilty before you've done a crime. You know, so we got, yeah. The good way is slower. And we just got to be patient in that respect. But it's actually, in a funny way, it's way faster. Because we've been goofing around for 40 years and not really getting anywhere. You know, how many people here know anything about the John Birch Society? Okay. They've been trying a long time. I've read a lot of their stuff. They've really been talking about this for a long time. So, if we just get Rule 43 passed and force the candidates to do anything because we passed a party rule, we've asserted an authority over them. Step 2 is starting to punish them for working against us. And that's where we got true power. With that becomes the danger of our group becoming a Chicago machine. Party politics of the just read history. People remember this stuff. You know what? Anybody that's read history knows that party machines are just as bad as another kind of machine, or a money machine. So every type of vehicle we set up has got potential for tremendous headaches and problems. That's why the moral code always is first. That's why we pull our own down before we pull, and we got to make it so, hey, look what I did today. I pulled Bob Johnson down because he screwed up. You know, and Bob, if I have maturity, I say, yeah, I messed up. You know, I'll try not to do that. Boy, tell you what, I learned. But if because you're the leader, you always get applause no matter what you do. Well, guess what? You'll become Blagojevich, and you know, I got the FBI's taping me. Ah, I'm going to sell the Senate seat. How does a mind get there? Yeah, Jeremy.
To what you're speaking to right now, I guess it raises the question of recall votes, which obviously, because the individuals are represented, they're not just part of the one party. You know, the entire representative body would be brought up into that. But I guess what's your position on recall votes in what you're talking about right now, especially in a republic?
It goes back to this. It always comes back to the unity. If your caucus continues to grow because your moral law is good and it attracts new recruits, then eventually you bust out of the party. You're bigger than the party. Guess what happens? Ballot initiatives, referendums, recalls, all of that becomes your weapons. Why? Because Part now, it goes from the uncontrollable to a controllable, and a general uses every tactic available to him.
Become a direct democracy.
What's that?
We become a direct democracy.
You gotta be, like you said, that's a danger. So, but what does it say in the Declaration? When these forms become destructive to these ends, you alter the forms. There's a fear, a con, direct democracy. These are all fears of mob rule. But if you read how their safeguards can be put in place, it's clear you can't trust the guys who have gerrymandered the districts, who have done all these tricks that go on in the Senate and the House, both at state and national level. We need new guards. And so yes, you bring new guards, but it always will come back to the speech before mine, that if we educate our troops to understand the rule of law, understand what they're trying to do to restore the republic, then, well, it's the quote from, I believe it was John Adams, that this Constitution will only serve a just and moral people. Any form works if all the people are good. John Locke said, governments run from working of men, and so any form works. And then I think it was William Penn was saying, well, no, you need really good structure because, you know, blah, blah, blah. Well, the question of that debate wasn't that either were wrong. They were each wrong alone. In fact, our Constitution was forms. So what you need, because all men have a propensity for evil, you try to get the best guys in, you hold them disciplined, and you have forms that you hold them accountable to. For example, how many people have ever heard of anybody being held accountable to their oath of office? Why is the oath of office there? So you can hold them accountable. It's the basis of holding someone accountable in perjury. Okay? We have that kind of power. We the people. Read the Texas Constitution. Some of the first lines are, all political power resides in the people. Okay? What I'm trying to say is you have to understand the constructs of what we do have currently still functional in a peaceable manner to move forward. And everything is there to still do it. Don't let it get so bad that the only option is physical anarchy, basically. Because I tell you, Rob, I'd hate to fight the U.S. Army. Woo! You know, the guys that are doing it are not having a good time. Yes, sir.
I have I guess, more of a basic question. If the goal is to restore the republic and institute this moral law, and that's done through unification, then a basic problem to me seems to be how do we get the people to unify and agree what restoring the republic is or what the moral law is.
Well, let's find out. How many people in this room are Unitarians? I mean, not Unitarians, Libertarians. How many Democrats? How many Democrats came to this meeting?
You got one registered or what?
Well, no, normally hang out in the Democrat Party. Okay, let me ask the Democrat first. From what you're hearing, is this something that seems attractive to you if it was real? It wasn't just all BS?
It is very interesting.
I've talked to the heads of unions, very liberal. I've never lost a debate. I've talked to people in the Green Party. Same thing. They said, well, yeah, I disagree with you on every issue, but I would join you for those kinds of, to restore those rights.
The issue rises when you talk about specific issues.
Issues are important. That's why I said we still have platforms, we still have our issue. But maturity says put them in the right place. Until the deliberative assembly has been restored, which means the proper way to debate, not telling your opponent to shut up, out persuading someone rather than just gaveling them down and crushing them through trickery. Everybody agrees with that. Okay? Then your real opponents in the real world who are afraid of you, they need to see it in action before they'll believe you, because it's just all this is platitudes. It's cliche. Everybody says, oh, let's do good stuff. You know, everybody says they're Christian. Everybody says I'm a good guy. Okay? So I have to teach this group first to learn how to not cheat and have the maturity to set your personal ambitions, your issues, as always important to you, because they're your personal issues and ambitions. But put